Hi, I'm Brandy Scott, and I am from Frisco, Texas. I'm 44 years old, and I got my implants 19 years ago. They are saline filled 475, filled to 505 over the muscle. And I started having symptoms not even a year in. My first symptom was dry eyes, really bad. And we thought I was going crazy, but the doctor was like, you have dry eyes of a 90-year-old. And I was like, okay, that's crazy. And then I started getting recurrent infections, all of which seemed to kind of go along with allergies or something, so that was easily written off until I was 28, so just 3 years after I'd gotten them. And I got my first autoimmune disease. And once I got the first autoimmune disease, made all the others simpler to take, in that the doctors blamed it on the first one. And even the first one was psoriasis, which was on my head and had creeped down onto my face. And when they did tell me that it was psoriasis, they asked if I had any family history of autoimmune disease, which I did. My brother had asthma. And so they immediately blamed it on that and looked no further. And I dealt with that for a few years until the big autoimmune disease hit, which was celiac. Before that, I was already tired every day, almost narcolepsy type of tired, but also insomniac for years. And those were my biggest symptoms during those years. Just not being able to sleep, being dehydrated often, all sorts of inflammation. When I got celiac disease, I had been so sick. I did not expect that that's what that was. We thought maybe it was an ulcer that had come back, so we were very surprised when I woke up from the procedure and they're like, you have celiac disease. We took biopsies, but we know that that's what you have. You have no lining left in your intestines, so you're absorbing no nutrients. And I was very sick. I had severe osteopenia, and so at 39, they wanted to put me on Fosamax, stuff that would really hurt me more probably than the bone density problem. None of my vitamins were all depleted, and I couldn't absorb more. I also found out about that time that I have the MTHR mutation, which makes it a little bit harder to absorb B vitamins, which depletes your levels. So all of my symptoms were based on other problems, and I was easily able to look elsewhere for those. Until I didn't get better after the celiac. The doctors told me that I would be able to heal my gut in a couple of years. I would be feeling great. But approximately 2.5 years, I started to hit a wall and never came down. I still wasn't getting better. I still had no energy. I can't work out. Not only do I get faint and can't handle the workout itself, I'm down for days afterwards as, I don't know, punishment, maybe, possibly. But I started to wake up in the mornings with my joints inflamed. I couldn't bend my hand anymore. My back started hurting in a way that made it impossible for me to move. I did find out that I had a bulging disc in one place, and we suspect there's another one farther up. Neck pain always. But at this point in time, it's hard even to breathe. I can't even pass an asthma test in that. I can't register my breath on an asthma test. I can't blow hard enough for it to register. And of course, this is all, all these tests are difficult on your body. It's hard when you have a doctor across from you who can't understand why you can't even pass a test. They, accuse you of not blowing hard enough, or, coming in with phantom symptoms because, like, I can't move my hands, but the RA factor comes back as, negative. It's not high enough, or it's not there at all. And so they send you off to another doctor, or they tell you have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and adrenal failure, all of which is hard to combat without understanding the underlying cause. But I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just in the last 2 years alone. I've spent $40,000 in medical bills outside of insurance, as a single mom who can barely work. At this point, I can't stand or sit for very long without paying for it. I have a 12-year-old daughter who is in need of my help, my support, and it would be great if I could be there for her. I looked into, a year or so ago, I started looking into, the only thing else that I could think of was my breast implants. And I started to search saline implants and side effects, saline implants, sickness, and I found nothing. There just wasn't anything out there that I came across. Tons of stuff out there about silicone implants, but that still kind of was in the back of my head, always kind of egging me on, like, I think that this is your implants making you sick. And so one day I had decided to at least relieve some of the pressure on my chest and my back and my neck by at least getting a reduction. And I asked a friend for some referrals, and when another friend had commented on the referrals, she said, "Have you heard of BII?" And that was just 2 months ago. And so first of all, I thought it said B11. So I looked that up. I didn't find anything. But when I realized it said BII, and this whole world of women popped up, I think when I joined just 2 months ago, there was a Facebook group, the main Facebook group for breast implant awareness. Illness was at 70,000, and now it's at 80,000, and it grows leaps and bounds every single day. Not everyone on there is sick. Some are just trying to find out because they've heard about it now and are worried about breast implants or thinking about getting breast implants. And I'm hoping that based on what they see, they choose not to. I immediately got swallowed into that hole and read for like 2 days, and called the next day, made all of my consultations, and I am set to explant on July 17th. I'm excited and nervous and scared, but I'm hoping that this is going to be a good thing. I'm hoping that it answers a lot of questions, that things get better. I know that I have some things that will never get better. There are some illnesses that once you check that box, you just can't come back from. And unfortunately, I have some of those. But I am hoping that the joint pain goes away, the chronic fatigue, the memory loss, the brain fog, and all of those things that make it difficult to function in a daily life will come back. I can handle the celiac disease. I can handle never being able to eat the same. But if I could just function as a mom, as a woman again, that would be enough, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully I'll have more to say afterwards. I hope you see a difference. I mean, I wear a lot of makeup now, which is great, but I didn't used to wear any makeup. But I have to cover the dark circles under my eyes, and my skin is so dry that it just flakes away. All those things. I'm hoping that this will be at least an answer to some of those problems, but mostly to my joint pain, my back pain. I need to be able to sit and walk and and be there for my daughter when she needs me. So, yeah, I think that's it for right now.